And America gets its first pope, deportations are on the rise, and the Trump admin makes another push to end the war in Ukraine. We've got a great set of guests coming in here today as well. South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace will be joining us. For the first time, we'll be sitting down with David Centner. Texas Representative Keith Self will be here, and the Congressman representing Alaska, Nick Begich, will be joining us as well. But before we get into any of our interviews, let's dive right into the headlines and change the way you consume your news.
Smokey, this is not Nam. This is bowling. There are rules.
Today, Junior, America!
Steak.
For breakfast! So stand by.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Steak for Breakfast podcast. I'm Roan. I'll be your host for the next few hours. If you're a first-time listener, welcome to the show. If you're a long-time listener, welcome back to America's fastest-growing and quickly becoming favorite political podcast on a busy news Friday. Guys, make sure you're subscribed to the show. We're available across every downloadable podcasting platform. We prefer Apple and Spotify. Check us out on social media as well. We're on all of them, but most active on X. Got some new YouTube channels. Links are coming. Don't worry, you'll see it in your email inboxes by the end of the weekend. I promise this time. And happy Friday to everybody in America first. Friday means there's more than just me talking to myself and to you this time. Alan Jacoby's here. Alan, welcome back.
Happy Freedom Friday, everybody.
There we go. And how's your week been going, bud?
Well, we're moving and shaking. A lot of news going on, a lot of things happening, trade deals, all kinds of stuff in the Trump administration, and I am here for it.
I kind of feel like the Trump team is leveling out on all the stuff they've been working on. They're letting it kind of like resonate. There's a whole bunch of like Trump was right narrative coming around with the trade stuff. I mean, I literally watched Jen Psaki open up her show on Wednesday night and do a 2.5-minute monologue on how the tariff war has failed. And within like 12 hours, Donald Trump had the UK inking a deal for the first of what will be many trade deals. But we also have to look down the road a little bit, Alan. You know, Donald Trump, and they're all historic, is planning a big historic trip to the Middle East. And there's a lot of stuff on the table. You're talking about trade. You're talking about defense. You're talking about ending the conflict between Israel and Hamas, reining in Iran, and a whole bunch of other things. But what I'm really worried about, and this is just your opinion, do you think we're getting another sword dance?
I would imagine we're going to get a pretty epic sword dance,
Yeah.
and I think people are going to be flocking to the true leader of the free world, Donald J. Trump, all over the Middle East. It's going to be an interesting trip, and I just heard I think Pete Hegseth is now going to be joining the president, which I like to see as well.
Yeah, he's going to get out ahead of the president and stop in Israel first, meet with his counterparts there and other members of like the Israeli Defense Ministry, and then join President Trump in Saudi Arabia. Listen, for anyone that knows politics, especially geopolitical, MBS does not emotionally move for anyone. He is such a stoic, stone-faced, unemotional character, and I've never seen somebody light up as all the times that him and President Trump have had the opportunity to kind of commingle together. And it means a lot for the relationships and what unlocking even more sustained peace in the Middle East is all about. So, yeah, we got to start thinking about that stuff. I think President Trump takes off next weekend, so it's going to be big, but it was also a big week of news here. Before we even get into it, I'm going to talk about our great slate of guests coming in here today. We'll catch up with South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace. We're going to have David Centner. Not a congressperson, not a senator. He is a big tech billionaire who's big on education, big on making America healthy again. And for someone who used to rub elbows with the elitist of the elites, got canceled for pushing back during COVID on that narrative, and which kind of unlocked the doors to all the great stuff he's working on right now to help make America safe, healthy, and innovative again. Jumping right back into the House of Representatives, Texas Congressman Keith Self will be here, and we'll catch up with the Alaska Congressman Nick Begich as well. So, great guest lineup. Still haven't caught up with Corey. Alan, can you text Corey Mills or something and tell this guy to get on the show?
He is everywhere. I tell you what, he's been lighting up social media, and I think he might be striving for the best dressed member of Congress.
He's pretty. Listen, Troy Nell's going to give him a run for his money because Troy Nell's wears designer suits with Trump accents all over them. But yes, I agree with you. Corey Mills is quite the handsome and dapper man. Every time I see him, he's at a fundraiser, he's at a speaking event, he's in the Middle East and doing all this crazy stuff. So we will get him on the show soon. Next week's going to be a very busy week of Congress, so we might have some guests off the Hill join us on the show, but we'll see what happens. I've already got some soft maybes. You all know how that goes for those who are our long-term listeners here on Steak for Breakfast. But, yeah, it's been a busy, I swear, It's Friday, right?
Yeah.
I'm still in Sunday. This week has just been absolute whirlwind, to say the least. You got my kids getting close to finals. You got my son. He's got playing Little League. I'm coaching, managing his Little League team. He's trying out for some new travel ball teams. My daughter's playing soccer. She's getting ready to start summer volleyball. And also Mother's Day is in a few days. And it's just been
Crazy.
absolutely crazy. And the weekend,
I don't know how you do it.
down. Yeah, me either. I mean, I literally sleep 2-3 hours a day, no lie, and function. I don't know how. So
You might sleep less than President Trump.
we'd be best buds if he would just call me, Donnie. I'm here. My son wants to meet you really bad. We made you the centerpiece of his end of the year 5th grade project, which is the state of New York. And we're going to have a whole thing. We got 2 different Trump books, one in English, one in Spanish. We actually got The Art of the Deal in Spanish.
So, how is somebody in California have a child that's able to do a Trump project in their school? That actually boggles my mind.
So my son has been sick of all the Michelle Obama and Serena Williams and Cesar Chavez projects since he was in kindergarten. And he sat down and he's like, Dad, we're doing a project this year at the end of the year on states. And I really don't want to do any of these people that they always like make us do in class. He's like, what should I do? And I was like, listen, this is how we win. You pick New York. No one in your class is going to pick New York, and we'll take it from there. So we went with New York. And then when you get your state, you have to do all the stuff, state bird, nickname. You have to build like all this stuff. And he put a really nice project together, he and my wife, so far. I mean, I bought some of the modeling materials, and then they kind of just threw and painted and glued everything together. But you have to pick a famous personality from the state. You don't have to tell the teacher who it is either. So, boom, there it is.
Really?
Yeah, he was able to pick President Trump. And I said, listen, maybe last year before he won the election, probably wouldn't have flown over good. But I said, now he's the sitting president of the United States. You really can't make no bones about it. So
it's either going to be really great or it's going to be a mainstream media news story.
Right. No, I think he'll be okay. I tell you what, I went to his parent-teacher conference in like April, which is like 2 months after Black History Month. And all the Black History Month stuff was all still on full presentation, like African mask, beads and spears, all these books. And I'm just like, come on. And plus the American flag was rolled up in the corner. It wasn't because the American flag was blocking anything in the classroom, but it was obstructing, I guess, the view of some of the kids in the back. So she had it rolled up. I told my son, I was like, go and roll the American flag. And he did while she was talking to some other parents. But it's just been really busy. We're getting close to that end of the school year, which means sports is going to ramp up. Believe it or not, Little League, regular season's coming to an end, but All-Stars is like still a 2-month affair. 100% my son's making that. Like I said, my daughter's doing summer volleyball, club soccer right now, and they're already starting football workouts. They got the first football workout on Mother's Day morning at 9 o'clock. So,
wow.
Yeah, no sleep.
Wow.
No sleep for me, no rest for the weary, but we'll get it done. And like I tell my kids all the time, if they sucked at sports, they wouldn't play them, but they're good, so they play them.
There you go.
Jumping into this here, let's get into our first topic. We're going to kick off our coverage of appropriation season, something we always love here on Steak for Breakfast. Makes for some of the best committee work. Over the course of the last 4 years, it was Republicans trying to hold the line and the Biden-Harris administration accountable for all their reckless spending, green new crap, and all the regulations that, kind of slowed the country down to a crawl following the coming out of the pandemic and things of that nature. Now, we see a lot less money wanting to be spent, but at the end of the day, will they be able to get there? I'm still kind of out on whether or not I feel like there's just so much of a gap between the House and Senate. Billions to trillions of dollars. It's galaxies apart. I do feel like they're going to meet in the middle-ish, but closer to what the House wants, but I still don't think it's going to be enough. Alan, you live in a salt state. You saw basically all of your representatives over the course of the past 24 hours reject what the House wanted to put into the reconciliation package for salt. Why don't you explain to our listenership before we jump into this real quick? Because that's going to be a hot topic that comes up between now and Memorial Day when they're trying to get this reconciliation package done for President Trump.